Welcome back, everybody. Our first guest tonight is an Emmy-nominated actress you know from shows such as Jane the Virgin and You, plus movies like Beetlejuice, The Fallout, and Death of a Unicorn. She stars in the highly anticipated second season of Wednesday. The first 4 episodes will premiere on Netflix August 6th. Please welcome to the show, Jenna Ortega, everyone! How are you?
Doing all right. How are you doing, Sam?
I'm doing very well. We've never met before, but we were in the same room for SNL 50th.
Oh, that's very true. We were.
But it was one of those nights where it was very hard to say hello to everybody there because of the crowd.
Yeah, there was images and things coming out after, and I couldn't believe some of the people that were there.
Yeah.
But everywhere you looked, it was definitely the busiest room I've ever been in.
Are you the kind of person that if you saw somebody that you were like sort of as a lifetime hero of yours that you would walk over and say hello?
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
No, I started when I was really young, and my mom would get excited over people, you know, like Britney Spears would be on set or something, and I would say, oh, no, you know, she's enjoying her morning, or she's eating her breakfast. I didn't really care.
Gotcha. Was your mom always like, but I want to go say hi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She says that, but then she would show up and be like, for like way too long, and then I was orchestrating the conversation.
Oh, I see.
10.
So she would go say hello, but then wouldn't add anything to the conversation.
And we would leave, and I would tell them I would wink. I would be like, thank you.
Yeah. That's very nice. Yeah. So at a very young age, you knew how to apologize. I got to be very old before I realized I had to apologize for my parents, but you knew at a young age.
Yeah.
Pretty much now, every interaction I leave with my parents, I look at the people and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm a big fan of my parents. You see, you're very close.
Yeah.
So we've got good ones. We're lucky to be where we are, and
true.
as many things. You were on screen during the SNL 50th. You did not have lines, but you were sort of with Kevin Costner while a musical was happening above you. So Kevin Costner and you, and then Kristen and Sudeikis and Forte.
Yeah.
How, and you hosted the show, so obviously you have a connection to the place, you know how it works, but how much warning did they give you that you were going to be in this shot?
They told us about 30 minutes before the show. I think I was heading to the carpet, actually, and they said, hey, would you mind, you know, doing this thing? And they didn't tell me who with, and then right before they told me Kevin Costner. We had never met.
Yep.
Do the awkward handshake. He was very sweet and good. They like pulled us away from our loved ones to do that. They were trying to explain to us before, hey, you know, I'm gonna lean and like press my stomach into your face. Is that fine? And I was like, yeah, sure, go for it. Like, I don't care. But then they left us there for the rest of the 3.5-hour show. So we would just, you know, laugh and then be like, so where are you from? So the rest of the show, your loved ones are like, I guess she just lives with Kevin Costner now. Well, yeah, every once in a while we would like look for them and we'd be like, hey, can you see yours? No. I hope they're okay.
Also love that they're like, we're gonna, also because they did, of course, press themselves against you. And I like just, even looking at this photo, like if somebody was like, you have 30 seconds to explain to Jenna what's gonna happen, you're like, you can't.
No, they said a musical.
This is like when you think of a musical, this is what you think of. But you know, obviously you've learned your time at SNL just to roll with it.
It's very true, yeah.
Congratulations on Wednesday. This is a
massive
hit. People have been very excited about the fact that it's back, and now they get to see it again on Wednesday. Very nice marketing that it all.
Yeah, the marketing team loves that.
Yeah.
They're really proud of that. Everything we do is Wednesday.
The first person who suggested it, I bet everybody else in the room was so mad because they're like, that was going to be my idea.
Yeah, I think there was like snaps. Like,
yeah, it was like, yeah, Wednesday. It would have been so embarrassing if the first person was like, I think we should put it out on Tuesday. And everybody's like, oh. This was amazing. I read this stat, and I'm wondering like how you felt when you first heard this stat. That the first month of season 1 of Wednesday, it was 1 billion minutes of views, which seems like a massive amount of minutes.
Yeah, I think that is.
Yeah. It's so bad. They're like, we can't even. They're like, we can't even do it in hours. It's like, yeah. But do you are you the kind of person with like? I'm not particularly good with numbers. Are you good with numbers?
No, it's embarrassing. There could be 10 people in the room, and I would think there were 50, or vice versa. Like no concept of anybody ever.
Do you? So like you, if like, have you ever seen those contests with like guess how many like jelly beans are in a jar?
Yeah, I lost once when I was a kid and cried.
Yeah.
It was devastating.
And you were like, well, and they were like, well, you thought there were 6, and there were thousands.
Yeah.
Do you want to take a? Do you want a real? Let's see. I know exactly how many seats there are. How many people?
This is gonna be really embarrassing for everyone. Wait, I don't know. Maybe there's like 100 here.
Okay, 201, so. If you want, if it would make you more...
No way!
Would you feel better if I asked 100 of them to leave?
Yes.
So just the rest of the time you could feel like you'd been right?
Do you mind if I cried?
I will say my wife has this problem too. We were once at this, like, we had like a weekend where we like stayed at this beautiful inn, and she was like, oh my God, there are like 100 deer in the lawn. And I looked out the window and I was like, there's 7. And she's like, I think like 93 of them ran away. I'm
like
like,
her.
no. You like her?
Yeah,
You're supporting her? All right. All right. You have a wonderful cast. Everybody's back. Louise Guzman, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and Fred Armisen. We were talking backstage. I mean, I was lucky enough to work with him for a decade. How do you enjoy your Fred Armisen experience?
I love my Fred Armisen experience. Well, I was telling you a little bit. He has no idea how obsessed with him I am. I've definitely had it where he's been in the other room and I'm quoting his lines and things like that.
Is he like to you what Britney Spears was to your mother?
Yes. Yes, but still, I'm not that. I'll never be.
But I feel like you're somebody like. Do you think anyone ever clocks like, wow, Jenna was really excited to meet me?
No.
Yeah, I think that's a good skill, by the way.
I think it's almost the opposite. I have such bad resting bitch face.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks I hate them. I know it, and I know it because I see it in my mother as well. It's like hereditary.
Oh no, you have
my sisters have it. We all just look like.
Oh my God.
I'm speaking to you, but I hate your guts.
Was this like an issue with like neighbors growing up, where we're like, oh, the Ortegas are not happy?
Neighbors didn't even try.
They didn't even try.
Neighbors didn't even try.
They all just like steered cleared.
Yeah, I've watched it happen to my mom, where people just go, "Oh my God, wow, you're actually so sweet and kind." It's like I've known her for years.
You just have to. Yeah, that's such a fun. I mean, that's what you should have like a little business card printed out. Just at the end of every interaction you can give to people. That's
right.
like, this
You're
went,
all right.
This went better than you think it went. Hey, you're a producer this year as well, which that's very cool. Did you enjoy having that responsibility as well, or was it at times oppressive to know that you were also that role?
No, I liked it because I've been doing this since I was 9, 10. You know? So it's been a big part of my life, and I love what I do so much. I love, film and television, and it's like all these doors open up that I didn't know existed before. So it's been really wonderful being able to see kind of all that goes into making these things behind the scenes and, before filming takes place. And, as an actor, you're usually like the last one to get the script. So it's nice to like watch the progression and meet new people and be a part of stupid conversation or really important conversation, all regarding safety and whatever. It sounds like really boring analytical stuff, but for me, it's been so fascinating.
And I would imagine, too, you've been doing this a long time, and obviously there's a lot of actors your age, even some that are younger. Like, it must be nice to have somebody your age that also has sort of a producerial role in the show. It must make them all feel a lot more welcome.
Yeah, well, I would hope so. That's a big part of my responsibility, or what I've taken on as, I really try, because I think also as the lead as well, they really dictate the energy and experience on the set. And, I've been on good sets and I've been on not so good sets, and it's really important to me that everybody's just enjoying themselves. We also make a very silly, campy, bright show, so it's not that serious. Like, we don't need to be hating each other.
No, it's fun to watch, and it would be nice to know if it was fun to make. You know what I mean?
It's very fun to make.
I have a lot more to ask you. We'll be back with Jenna after this.
You're getting resting, Mother. I can practically hear you creak.
Still bringing a knife to a sword fight?
You taught me everything I know.
But I didn't teach you everything I know.
We're back with Jenna Ortega, everybody. That was a clip from Wednesday. have to, we talked about safety. Did you have to take some fencing lessons before shooting those scenes?
Yeah, I didn't do that jump. That was crazy. That was my stunt double, Jenny, who rocks.
How many times did Jenny have to do the jump on the day?
I have no idea. I wasn't there.
That was the day where you're like, I gotta go do producer stuff. Bye, everybody.
Well, this show, because I'm in so many
Yeah.
scenes as well, we have different units going.
Of course.
So yeah, she was out doing that. So that was pretty cool. We did a lot of fencing lessons, but Catherine and I, it was quite difficult because sometimes we got to see each other, but it was at 2 a.m. in the rain, in the
You had
forest.
blindfolds on.
Not even that, but we'd be in like different costumes, like gala looks and big fancy dress, you know, whatever
Yeah.
it may have been. But yeah, fencing's a huge part of this season, and it was really exciting to do that with, you know, the Zorro, Chicago
I know, yeah.
legend.
She's very good at that sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah, she is.
You filmed season 2 in Ireland. I heard that you went to an animal sanctuary, and there was something that you were very excited about doing. That was the reason you wanted to go more than anything.
Yeah, I wanted to pet a cow.
You wanted to pet a cow. So I'm very taken aback by this.
Why?
Well, it just seems like that's something that would have, I don't know, offered itself to you at this point in your life. Like you're just a very
cows
accomplished.
casually offer that?
I would think if I was a cow, I'd be like, oh my God, she's in Wednesday. It got like a
Has that
billion
happened to
views.
you?
Well, no, I feel like I guess I just realized now I grew up around cows.
Oh, wait.
Like
what?
most
Where?
of my high school class was cows. No, I grew up in New Hampshire, and so there were like a lot of farms around.
Oh,
so
okay, yeah,
like we
that's-
were like tipping cows.
Okay,
we were
well,
like,
I'm California.
Yeah.
It was like rattlesnakes.
yeah, that's true, and you don't want to pet those.
No, you probably
So
shouldn't.
how was your interaction with the cow? Was it everything you wanted it to be?
Yeah, it was really great.
Yeah.
They were really nice.
Yep.
It was exciting.
This is the moment. This is the moment we've been waiting for.
Yeah, you can't even. I look happy in that, but you don't. I was jumping inside.
Really?
It smelled like, but it was
Yeah.
incredible.
That is the part they don't tell you about.
Yeah. No, I was really excited though.
And then there was a different animal there that more than one. Did you started fostering an animal based on your visit to the
Oh
sanctuary?
yeah, so I went there and yeah, it was this animal sanctuary. I was walking around. There was these chinchillas. The chinchillas were really cute, and they let us hold them.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I'll be back tomorrow at 5. And I came back with a cage the next day, and he just let me take them. And I said, okay, I'll give them back later.
Yeah.
So that's fine. And I did. So I had a mother and 2 sons,
Okay.
Alma, Donald, and Basil.
Okay.
And I raised them into strong young men.
This is on set. You just had
Oh, yeah.
a cage of chinchillas.
Yeah.
This seems like, I mean, again, I don't want to criticize because I've never run an animal sanctuary, but this seems to like have a pretty open door policy of who's allowed to just come and leave with the chinchillas.
Yeah, he was really lax about the whole thing. It
Yeah.
was quite strange, actually.
I can't imagine this was the first phone call where they were like, hey, this big time movie star wants to come pet a cow. And he was like, duh.
Yeah, I can't speak on that.
Did you get a dog?
Oh yeah, well, I was also at the sanctuary holding the chinchillas. There was a pregnant dog walking around, and I went, okay, that's interesting. And I'll be back. So a big part of the reason why I got the chinchillas.
So basically everything you saw, you're like, I'm gonna be back for that.
Basically why I got the chinchillas, because I thought, okay, this guy's gonna be checking in on these animals, right?
Yeah.
So he's gonna wanna see me every once in a while, make sure I'm taking good care of them.
Sure.
So then I'll come, because she looks like she's about to pop.
Yeah.
And then there will be puppies around, and then I get to like play with the puppies as well. And then there was this runt in the litter who had a bad eye. She was like going blind. She was always sick and just really ill, and I knew she needed me. So I took her as well.
So wait. Do you think, and again, I know you probably can't speak to this either, but do you think at any point the cow was like, she came to see me and she's leaving with everybody else? Like I was supposed to be like, this is my big day.
Right.
I feel like the cow was like the kid, like the cow was like Annie in the movie Annie if they left with someone else. And she's like, what?
Oh my God.
The play's called Annie. And so this poor cow, you just show up and then I'm sure as soon as
She
you
lives
left.
a good life, though. I live in LA. Like, she wouldn't get all that.
Right.
You know, she's better off there.
I just hope she's not watching this because she's definitely going to be like, is it because I smell like
She's
have I smelled like this whole time?
she's pissed. Yeah.
So wait, but so did is anything still? Do you still have any of these animals that you were like, I'll bring these back?
Well, I still have the dog.
You still have the dog?
And then I think when I go for it, because we're doing a 3rd season and we'll go back to Ireland, I think I'll probably pick up the chinchillas again.
Okay, that's good. This
Just
is
because
a very good, like, I don't know, it's like a lending library.
Well,
of-
It was weird. I had everyone over for dinner once, and then I realized there was like 4 animals around, but we had only been there for a month. So it was
And you were like, yeah.
I like really settled there.
Also, it's like, I will say, like, I've heard a lot about Ireland, but I've never heard somebody who's like, and then, like, right away you get some chinchillas. Classic
Yeah,
Irish
I keep having
behavior.
to explain. Everyone knows what a chinchilla is. I feel like I have to explain
sort of,
what that is.
it's like a fancy hamster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're awake at night, so I would go to bed and I could hear them running around in the cage and like breaking stuff.
This weirdly seems like something the character Wednesday would like, which is like, what are you looking for in a pet? I want something that's up at night, just making a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Just breaking in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Is the dog a good dog? Do you feel like it's improved your life?
Definitely. I think I travel so much. I think, you know, oftentimes I feel more comfortable in hotel rooms. I'm never home. I didn't really have a sense of home, so I think being able to walk in somewhere and be welcomed by an animal has been really, really wonderful. It would be better if she liked women. She's a woman hater.
Okay.
She only likes men. They must be bald or have beards, so you're not her type.
Great. We didn't, by the way, I wasn't asking, and it's like hurtful that you had to like.
Well, I was just making sure.
I wasn't like, like when you were like, my dog only likes men, was I like, oh.
Yeah, but you're asking a lot of questions about her, so.
Okay, I will be honest, I was super interested.
But yeah,
But she only likes-
she's all right. She usually comes with me to work and things like that.
Yeah.
But she left because I'm on the press tour and traveling a lot for the show.
Gotcha.
When we started the press, I brought her to set and was really excited. She went to the Netflix studio and walked around and then just took a fat steaming in the middle of the setup, and she hasn't been allowed on set since.
Oh my God.
I don't know why she did that.
Well, I mean, probably because she hates women. She was like this, I don't like that you're getting all this attention.
Yeah.
Isn't there a bald man with a beard who we could all be talking to right now?
Yeah, there was several actually.
Congratulations on the show. Thank you so much for being here. It's
Thank
just
you
been a
for
delight
having
to talk to you. You guys, this is Jenna Ortega. Part 1 of the 2nd season of Wednesday premieres on August 6th, and Part 2 will premiere on September 3rd. We'll be right back with Keep the Cup.